All right, welcome to another episode of the Chi Life podcast. So this is an episode at a festival, so we might have a few extra sounds around us. It shouldn't be too much, but you might hear some music and people walking past and things like that. It's part of the atmosphere here. So I'm with Monse Mayol, and she is a Biodanza teacher. So we'll get into what Biodanza is, of course, but for now, Monse, can you maybe tell us a little bit about yourself and what led you to get into Biodanza? What caught your interest? And yeah, let's start with that.
Okay, well, thank you for saying my name so good. This is really important for me. I'm from Chile, South America. I'm a psychologist as well.
Mm-hmm.
And in my path of being developing myself and understanding myself and my life, I went and tried for different techniques. I did some trainings, and one of the trainings that I done was about like the release of the emotions that are stored in our body. And for a long time I thought that was suffering, that you, in order to develop yourself, you have to kind of suffer and connect with that.
And you have to feel suffering as part of releasing.
Yeah, and like release it, and yeah, quite strong for some people. And then during the same path of develop myself, I found Biodanza.
And so this was after you'd already trained in psychology?
Yeah.
You were just exploring different things to work with.
Yeah, and it's quite popular in Chile because Biodanza comes from Chile. Rolando Toro was the creator of Biodanza. And yeah, I could, I kind of could connect all the knowledge from psychology, that is the understanding of the mind and the emotions, but addressing the possibility of connecting with the body. And if you realize, we are here in our life with bodies, we are not just brains walking around. So it's so important to mix in order to have the better understanding of yourself. Sometimes you, in therapy, for me, you get stuck in some blind points, spots that we have. But with Biodanza, I'm not teaching you, I'm just facilitating an environment where you can explore for yourself and you can realize many things about you and how you connect with others, how you respect your space, how you listen to your body.
So in your psychology training, did they address the body connection of emotions at all? Was that something that within your psychology training, or did they not really even look at that?
They do, for sure, and depends always on the paradigm or the focus of the
particular school you study at. Yeah.
So my one was way more cognitive behavior.
Okay.
And also more communitary stuff.
Yeah.
And then I develop and I look for more transpersonal humanist techniques that are more integrating other techniques like Reiki, holotropic breath work, like when you realize that the body was missing before.
Okay. So maybe now's a good time to tell people, what is Biodanza? If you can give a description of what it is.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I can try to make it
maybe we do
easy.
a short one and then a long one, or vice versa, a long one and then a short one.
Yeah, so well, for me, like, Biodanza is a system first. It's a system that seeks human integration, relearning of the functions of affectivity in our life, and also creating a safe environment in order to explore different movements, and not just movements, like when we move, we are creating possibilities in our life. So it's a safe space where you can try to explore freedom, you can try to explore expansion, fluidity, slow motion, softness, kindness, and all that beautiful potentials that we have as a human beings. And then sometimes, due to society, we repress them and we pull them away aside, and then we just consider, oh no, we just need to be productive and successful and have money, and we forgot that I think the priority, is what we are here in life. It's for enjoying, it's for making our life a dream come true, and we have the power inside us. So biodanza give us this possibility. I'm talking about that part of biodanza because some people like me, I enjoy it and I see it like that. For some other people, it's just a space when you can go and dance, relax, connect with people, laugh, cry, release your emotions. It can be after the session you might feel energetic. After the session you will feel more alive. You will feel more kind, open-hearted. And then I notice in my own experience after biodanza, I always like, hey, more kind, I want to socialize more. I want to express more the emotions with my loved ones. Just keep it for myself.
You're inhabiting your body a little bit more and allowing yourself to use those natural, I guess you referred to it as affectation before, or human, to connect with others.
Yeah.
So I have been to 2 or 3 biodanza sessions, not too many, but I have experienced it. So I know a little bit about what a biodanza session involves, what it looks like. Maybe you could give a description of, if someone turns up to a biodanza, now they're all different. They have themes.
Yeah.
You select a theme that you're working with, but then what might that look like? What might someone experience if they come to biodanza?
Okay, yeah. So, biodanza is a system that is a groupal system. That is the key. It's not an individual thing. We try to explore the container that we create together. So you will come to a biodanza class and you might see some exercise like circles, walkings, just individual dances, games, in order to really integrate and tune into the same vibration of relaxation, where the mind is not an issue, where the mind is not be first. It's just that part of the mind, the cortex that we call, it's a little bit less activated, or I try to make it like that, because the first part of the class is activation. So we connect with the identity, with who we are, with the vitality, with open eyes, so we understand and acknowledge the people that is close to us. And then once that you are like more tired, when you are tired, your mind is not so active, So that happens, like you get more relaxed, and it's in that part that we put some exercise that allow you to explore within you and with others in a really progressive way. So it's like a chain. Every exercise is a important part of the chain, and it will create the possibility that you can surrender and explore other level of consciousness, the unity. We have swaying circles that we sometimes just hug each other, and we are just there rocking, so how many times we do that? How many times in our life, in our week, we walk and we hug people?
And experience that group interaction of everyone together.
Available.
And having to find some harmony with each other, because if you're all swaying as a group, one person can't sway this way while everyone else is swaying the other way. You have to find a way to have harmony together.
Yeah, that's all about. And
okay,
I don't know what other thing I can say. I could talk heaps, man.
Okay, so what are some of the different sorts of themes that you might have for different biodanza sessions?
Okay, so biodanza works with 5 lines of experiences, and we call vivencia, or these lines, and these lines, the vivencia or the experience is unique for you and for me. We can be in the same circle, but for you might have another results emotionally talking. So we have vitality, that connects with the expression of that energy that you have to face your day, your life, that also need of, and now I need to rest, so vitality is not just activation, but also the acknowledgement of, it's time to rest, so I can balance
maintain and take care of.
The second one is affectivity. Affectivity needs comes from affection. How I can realize what I'm feeling, my emotions, my feelings about circumstances or people, and then how can I express that? You know, if we don't, if we numb ourselves and if we don't realize what we feel, then it's gonna be way more difficult to express that to others. You know, and then comes inside the deep topic of communication, that it would be way better our communication if we realize the signs of ourselves. Yeah, we know, oh, I'm feeling sad today, I want to express this, and being really assertive. Yeah,
I think so often people, well, certainly I observe people acting in a particular way, maybe getting angry or something, and it has nothing to do with, like, the reason why they're doing that is because of something else. And because they can't allow themselves to be aware of that, they send their energy off in another direction that's not helpful.
Yeah.
Whereas really their energy would be better addressing the thing that's the actual problem.
Yeah, absolutely, and it would be so healthy to start promoting that kind of awareness.
Yeah.
Then the other topic that we work is creativity, and creativity not goes just when I started to study Biodanza. I was like, oh yeah, well I play some music. Yeah, it's more than that. It's not just being an artist. It's how you can become an artist of your life. How you can create with what you have in the present moment. How you can, now that we are in a camping, you know, and sometimes, oh, it's sunny, we need shade. What we use for that. So it's how you can, in your routine, if you have a 40 hours job, how you can make your life in a way that you enjoy your life as well, you know, or that job that whatever is the reason that you need to stay there, how you can make it nicer for you. That is the creativity that is within us, and it's the power of really transform our life. And then it comes sexuality. Sexuality is not just a genitality. It's not just it's the pleasure of life. It's the enjoyment of life. Being able to be really open to when you are eating, for example.
So sensuality, perhaps, which includes sexuality, but there's all of the other senses that are involved in all sorts of activities.
It can go way more deep than just erotism. Sexuality and sensuality includes, you know, erotism of you and of life, like how you can walk in this life and feel that you are in love of this life, and it's not just like and like recovery, that when you are walking and noticing your body and your hips moving, and when the same like when you are eating a nice juicy fruit sweet, you are like that, you are like a chocolate, you are like a nice yummy fruit, you know, and that is the recovery that also creates like a big sense of aliveness in our body, in our life. And transcendence, or transcendence.
The fifth one is transcendence.
The fifth one is that one. And so how we can go with all these other tools that we have and go beyond ourselves, me as a person, individual, and then connect with a group and feel part, and then even more, how we can really acknowledge and recognize as a children of this earth, and how we can create the consciousness of looking after our place where we live, you know. So it can have many layers, and we can explore that just through movement.
So we have
vitality,
affectivity, creativity, sexuality and sensuality, and transcendence.
Yes.
Very good. So these are the 5 main lines of experience.
Yeah.
And then within that you choose more specific themes for sessions. How does that work?
Yeah. That actually, like, you can have different topics. It's like we have more than 300 exercises.
So there's a set curriculum of exercises that you choose from. You go, okay, we'll do this one, and you put it together into a session.
Exactly. Like for lines of vivencia or for experience, we have some exercises, and also we have music. That's why Biodanza is like really looks like sometimes it's so fluid, but has an structure. And the structure is because this music was selected, was listened by the teachers, and then, like the idea of these musics is that we can connect emotion and body movement. And the movement is an integrating movement, not dissociating movement. We are so used to, like move separate. Oh, just thinking. Oh, just doing. Oh, just pleasure here. And the idea of this movement, the music, creates like this sinuosity or like wavy movement. So then you are like, expressing your emotions and connecting these three big centers of ourselves. What else? Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay. I think that gives a pretty good description of Biodanza and all the different parts that come into it. So you've been doing Biodanza for how long now? It's quite some time.
Yeah, I think I started to study Biodanza in 2012.
2012. So it's been 10 years.
Yeah, 3 years of studying, and then 2016 I started my groups in Chile, and then I came here with the mission of planting the seed here for Biodanza New Zealand.
So 3 years, it's quite a long training period. I guess there's 300 exercises you need to know, right?
Yeah.
And understand how to, I guess, deal with people who maybe have some quite strong experiences sometimes with the practice.
Yeah, like as I say, people might find this. You can do a process. For me, when I study, also I part of the requirements is that you do your classes every week. Because you need to embody,
So attend classes.
Attend to classes, Attend to classes every week, ideally. So it's like a safe 2 hours, safe space for you. 2 hours where you can also practice this community sense. At the beginning of the class, we usually talk a little bit, and it's optional for sure. And we practice the active listening and not interpretation or give advice. It's just being really present there with what happened and with what the participants brings. Can be something from their own lives, sometimes from the week, sometimes something from the class that they remember and that move. We do a lot of exercise that are connected with the reparenting experiences, that actually is like all these maybe emotional wounds that we got from childhood that were unfulfilled from our caregivers or from the environment. And we have some exercises in Biodanza that allow you to connect and to create a new memory, to create a new experience. And like when you are moving, you are not just moving, you are creating a biochemical change in your body. So it's like a really good cocktail of serotonin and oxytocin, that is the hormone of connection, and a hormone for relaxation as well. So you are bringing to your cells, there's a new experience. So literally with the old movies, remember you can cut something and put again. Well, this is like, before I had this experience, no one hugged me. It's not good to hug. And then in Biodanza, little by little, I get used to that, and then I relearn something. So I can even cut that memory, and I can put another piece of memory and say, I can hug. I'm able to give love and receive love.
And you can weave it into your biochemistry and your neurology so that you now have a new experience to identify with.
Yeah, and it's not even, you can go even deeper. Imagine that experience got printed in you and in your cells, so you change your biochemical, and then you can trespass that in your future generations.
Yeah, pass on more positive things.
So we are healing as well, the ancestral trauma. So it can be, depends on the line and the way that you are in the moment. The dance will affect you or will, impact you.
So you were attending classes regularly while you were training, and then you've been running sessions yourself. Can you maybe tell us about some of your own experiences with Biodanza, how it's affected you?
Oh yeah, okay. I can say that.
Only anything that you're comfortable, of
Yeah,
course,
I'm
but maybe
quite
there's some.
comfortable with my vulnerability because this is something that also Biodanza brought to my life. Just authenticity and vulnerability, and it's totally okay being you and validate how you feel, and being really transparent actually rather than make you feel far away from people with the right people, you feel way more connected to them. And yeah, so well, I could say that, for example, I grew up in a family. I have a mosquito. So I grew up in a family. I was only child for a long time, really long time, and the sense of also the first uh, girl, the first baby of my parents. So I think I grew up with this perfectionist trait in my life, and do stuff and do action and achieve and be perfect. I still have some stuff like that. It's not like completely, but it's with Biodanza. I was there, for example, and in the dance, your mind is playing games and saying like, oh, what is going on with them? Why are you? How the way that you look, you are moving in this way, and maybe it's quite ridiculous or whatever. And then my mind really down shut down and doesn't care, So that sensation of freedom and just be myself, and even sometimes I can express myself way better with movement than words, because words sometimes reduce all your experience. So I could practice with more vulnerable with my people around, and also learning how to look after my relationships, because yeah, but maybe before I was not so connected and just connected when you need me. You are having a struggle moment in your life, I'm gonna be there. Then bye. And I learned with Biodanza that the bonds that care for me, I want to water them. I want to connect them. Maybe even just a simple message of I'm not available right now, because I'm having my own time, but I will listen later. Or like that small details uh, are important for me, and this is something that Beyonce taught me a lot. How who loves care. Yeah.
Maybe you could also tell us a little bit about maybe experiences or changes you've seen in people who you've worked with
Yeah.
now that you've been leading sessions. So if you started in 2016 in New Zealand, so you've been doing them here for 8 years.
No, here in 2019.
Oh, it was Chile in 2016.
Yeah.
And then you came here in 2019.
Without speaking much English, just the movement.
Well, you have to
learning,
express through movement then.
Yeah. Well, I could see that I'm quite lucky to witness to witness the process of people, especially when you stay in an area and the people comes every week, or in this cycle sometimes we can do 6 classes of cycles, so that the people really can commit in these six classes. Or if you come and you can see first the movement, like the integration of the body. As I say, sometimes we have a lot of tension in our neck, and then we are like kind of separate dancing, and then you can see through the classes there are more alignment, more integration in the body, then more strong self-esteem. They open eyes and they connect, and they are not scared of open eyes and connect. We learn how to touch and how to be comfortable with touch. We learn how to hug deeply and rather than just like escape. You can see I have the proud of have 2 couples that been made in Biodanza classes.
I see. So this is a little bit of a maybe you can come along and find a mate.
Yeah. And what else? You can see that. You can see people that has decided to start, for example, doing their passions in life. They were like, oh, I have one of the participants is a yoga teacher, and she stopped to do yoga teacher classes, and then we did a class about archetypes and about Demeter and Aphrodite. You know, what makes you feel pleasure and enjoyment in life is Aphrodite, and then Demeter was the goddess of like war and peace, I think, and she was connected with the people as well, and she has the sword, and we danced that energies. And then the next class, this participant came with the idea that, yeah, you know, someone asked me for doing a play. I need to replace someone, like fulfill. I don't know. Someone couldn't do the class, and someone,
fill in for a class, yeah.
And she said, "Yeah, I will do the classes." And she started to do yoga classes. You know, like teach yoga classes. So it can be so inspirational like that. It can be something that you feel lighter, you feel happier the next time, or yeah. Or you can dive also into your emotions, you know? It's not just happiness. Sometimes you will face sadness. Sometimes you might feel that you are facing grief in your body, because we work with our body. But the idea of being in movement is acknowledge that, the pain, and transform it. Yeah, acknowledge and stay, and not hide and, you know, and run away from the pain. Is like, yeah, I feel it, and I can dance it, and then I can reborn. And that experience in your body creates a gap in your mind and a new behavior eventually. So yeah, kind of like that. What else you can say? What people that was more shy at the beginning, then they get a little bit less shy. You know, also, or honoring more who you are. In my own experience, for example, I found that I have a lot of introversion in me. And before I was kind of complaining about that and trying to force me to do something. But due to the years, I've been like, yeah, really honoring that, you know, and you are okay with who you are. And that is like so magical, eh? It's like a peace that feels in your guts, and it's like you are just walking and just being you are. Medicine.
Very good. So maybe you can tell us what you're doing. So what are you doing with Biodanza now? Tell us about where people can find you doing Biodanza and opportunities, because they might want to find a mate, or they might want some of these other things to explore processing things.
Or you might get more tips to how to approach with someone, you know?
Yes. Maybe not at the class, but maybe because of changes,
then you can practice
they can then interact with people differently in their other aspects of their life.
Yeah, absolutely, because like the dances in the class, you know, creates this possibility of feedback. So then when you are in your normal life outside, and then you, for example, go and hug someone, and then you notice that person is like, always explain this this example is like, you see that the person is like more tight and close, you're not gonna come like that. You are creating awareness in you, and that might help you to look after your relationships outside. No? Make sense?
Yeah, of course. And as I say, there's other reasons why people might want to come to Biodanza, not just finding a mate. There's lots of other reasons for any of the things we've been talking about. So where can people find you doing Biodanza?
So I'm based in Tauranga, Moana. I'm doing classes every Thursday over there, and I come from time to time to Auckland to do workshops on the Saturday, sometimes weekend workshops, and that is my offering at the moment.
Cool. And do you have a website or a Facebook page or something like that?
We have the Facebook page, Biodanza New Zealand.
Okay, we'll put a link to that in the description so people can find you there.
Instagram.
Yeah. Cool, we'll put links to that so people can find you. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us about Biodanza today?
What else I could say? It's a revolution. It's an invitation to really change from within. Sometimes we are expecting and change outside, and this is a really revolutionary way of start with the change within. That's what I want to say.
Very cool. Well, thank you, Monse. It's been a pleasure having you on the podcast, and I might be able to make it. You're doing a session not tomorrow, the
On
next day, on
Monday.
Monday. Yeah.
Monday.
I'm not
Yes.
sure. Hopefully I might be able to
Oh,
make it to the session
hopefully.
with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate your time.